Okay.
Well, welcome.
Welcome, everyone. We are back again, and we're glad that you joined us today. Good to be here with you.
That's right.
So, what we're talking about today that we want to tell you about. We are taking it to getting a better perspective on where we are as far as maturity level in having dealt with questions with our height and just issues when we were younger. We want to see what the other side of that is now with the younger generation.
Right.
Has it changed?
Has it changed?
So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think there's going to be a big difference? Because we're going to talk to somebody in a moment. So
I don't think there's a big difference because we still get the questions, you know.
Okay.
Like people still ask me, do I play basketball? I'm like, what, they got an old person league or something? Like, no, I don't still play basketball.
That's right, guys.
But I know they, like you said, you mentioned it before, you know, they don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I'm sticking to my point where I think people comment on the first thing that catches their attention. And in our case, our height is the thing that stands out the most. So today, we're bringing on a guest. Right?
Introducing our guest.
So come on in here, and of course, she's up there with us, right? 6 foot nation, right? You can tell me your height.
6 feet. I'm about 6'1".
All right. 6'2"
and 6'3".
Right. Have a seat and welcome.
Welcome.
We made some space to enjoy a new guest today. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. And thanks for being here. Thanks for coming and sharing your thoughts.
Right.
So we've been in the game a while, right?
So to speak.
Right? And we wanted to just kind of bring in a fresh perspective and just to kind of balance out the conversation, right? And
to know where society has trended towards.
Yes. And so right now you're in college, right? College range,
athlete.
Right? An athlete. You mind sharing what sports you're playing?
Play basketball.
Okay.
That's really about it now.
And you enjoy? Do you enjoy playing? Okay. So we're all basketball. You know, we have it in our blood. But yeah, so we just wanted to kind of invite you here to kind of hear what you had to say about your experience in growing up as a young girl being tall, and what did you see as challenges, or how did people approach you, and what were your thoughts about that? How did you feel when people would, and anything you want to share, anything at all?
Well, I know when I was younger, maybe around the middle school era, you know, it was already enough that I was tall, so people kind of didn't want to talk to me anyway.
Okay.
And then my face didn't make it any better. Like my mom always tell me, you know,
Yeah,
smile.
Okay.
You look like you got walls up, all that stuff. So my face didn't make it any better. So I just looked like the big bully. But you actually started talking to me, and I'm really this big old goofy somebody, this big old teddy bear. Going to high school, you know, being an athlete and stuff, especially with like my build, like my shoulders are broader. I kind of got more muscular than a few of my teammates, a few regular girls. So, you know, people kind of treated me like, some people treated me like I wasn't a young woman. Like, that makes sense. Like, some people
I get what
treated me like I was like some type of beast or some type of something, or that like sometimes like I just want to be treated like a girl. Sometimes I want to be treated like a woman. Even when I'm dressing cute, you know me, and I dress cute, when I dress in my pink, when I dress in my whatever, I still get confronted like, well, you must be the bodyguard, you must be the this, you must be the that. Especially with my build. It's always something masculine. Which, you know, and to personally, it's not a problem, but it's just like, I don't want to be that right now. You know, I don't want to be basketball, Nike sweats, and all that stuff right now.
And what I'm hearing is like, you don't want to, that's just not the only dimension you exist in. This is not, I'm not just a basketball player, you know, I am all these other things. I am woman. You know?
Like, what's the name used to say that? What was it? Maya Angelou? I am woman, hear me roar.
Exactly.
You just want to be the I am woman. We come in all different sizes. You don't emasculate a man for being short or short or slim. So how do you feel like you can treat a woman a certain way? Like,
And this is to our point. That's why we wanted to start talking to other people, hear other voices, because ours is not the only voice out there,
Right.
but we have common stories, right?
Yeah.
Common experiences, and it's about how we deal with those things, how it affects us as women, as human beings, and whatnot. So it's good to hear that coming from a young woman,
Right.
because which means that it's still out
It's
there.
still going
It's still
on.
there, you know? And I think too, like we've done some episodes already where we talk about how you handle your energy and how you protect yourself in times like that. And do you feel like that breaks through your protective,
Does it break your peace?
like, yeah, like how does it
Like
get
if you're
you?
in a good mood and somebody does that, does it alter the mood? Does it?
It kind of depends on how persistent they are, cause sometimes they do a little bit too much.
Like they
Like,
want you to react?
Yeah, like okay, you can ask me if I play basketball. Like the other day, we was getting Chinese food, and somebody was asking me, what sport did I play? Because I did come in with athletic attire, so that was appropriate.
That's acceptable.
That was acceptable. He was asking me what school I played at, all that stuff. But when I'm just chilling with my friends, when I'm I'm gonna note this. Most of my friends are smaller frame, smaller build, all that. So I kind of look not out of place, but I stand out a little bit more.
Yes, yeah.
So like even with my other tall friend, I stand out a little bit more than her because of I'm a little bit
body
muscular.
type, yeah.
And we'll be talking, and there's like a group of dudes or something. They'll just kind of be like, "Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?" You know what I'm saying? What's up, Taylor? All that stuff. Oh, what's up, Taylor? Like, I want a hug.
I feel
Yeah,
you.
it's like because I'm built, I guess, to society standards, more masculine. They're gonna treat me like I'm masculine. That's not how I want to be treated.
Treated. Okay, I totally hear you there. I totally hear. And I think it's important that you protect your energy specifically because you are not being received the way you want to be, and I know that can get through the cracks and that get to you. So I think it's important to make sure you're grounded in who you are and have like your own safe place that you kind of like can remind you, or people around you that can help keep you focused on is not how other people perceive you, is how you present yourself to the world.
Right.
And so I think that's important, and I hope that you have something in place, or like a safe zone that you feel that. But honestly, people are gonna think what they think. It's hard. We spoke about that. We can't change.
But I don't think people intentions always. Not always.
I agree.
I don't think the intent is to be harmful. I think that's, like you said, they're just thinking that's the only way to start any kind of dialogue with the person, not realizing, you don't start the dialogue off with something negative and then want to drop me. Even when you're fishing, you put something out there that you want the fish to be attracted to.
True. And I think that's part of why we're here. We're trying to expand the conversation. And when we talk about the conversation is stagnant, if we are a couple decades older than this young lady here, and the conversation is the same, it's the same. So it's important that we put our voices out there to help change it and to say that we want to be seen for the whole person. You can make comment about the athletic side or whatever, but you want to invest in knowing who the person is, who that person is about, and what they, So I think it's important that we continue to have these conversations and be transparent about it, because that's how change happens,
And I would think in the era of social media, that's kind of why I wanted her perspective, because everyone has spoken out about their inclusiveness, and that's I think, as we've mentioned before, that's the sector of ours that they didn't feel like was necessary to speak out on.
Yeah.
So because you don't, they say don't body shame, don't use the wrong names and all kinds of things like that. So you have to bring attention to it. So you do have to bring attention to it.
Yeah. But I'm glad I know you. I've known you for a long time. And I know you have that softer side. And we spoke about the fact that you even just said it, that you would put on this kind of and that could have been, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, but maybe was that a way of you protecting yourself?
It kind of is, because because initially I don't start off like that. I'm always usually just happy and whatever and goofy. And you come up to me and you keep beating me down with these ignorant, stupid questions, and I'm like, all right, get out my face.
Right.
Just get out my face.
Right.
All right. So I just come in. I just subconsciously come in with walls up and start defensive. And then people were just like, well, dang, you're mean. No, you're asking dumb questions.
Okay.
Like, I remember her getting out of the car from school one day, and she actually was like, bye, mommy. And then immediately turned into, and I let the window down. I was like, hey. And she didn't even know what, like, she went almost in gear. Like, she put on an armor to deal with it automatically. And I was like, and I know I felt myself doing that younger, and possibly even as an adult when I just don't feel like being bothered.
Okay. So and what that speaks to is the subconscious things that we do to protect ourselves, you know, and then that could go across the board for anyone with whatever they're dealing with. Yeah. So we're just kind of acknowledging from our perspectives what we do, and I think it's good to recognize that you do that, and then realize that also becomes like people kind of like back off, right? And then they
create a fear.
Yes.
Because like there are kids that created a fear in middle school, and the people who know her are like, she's a teddy bear, right? They be like, no, she's not. She's mean, but it's not. It's like I think you automatically look and equate size with intimidation or fear, and so it's. So and then that's what you're giving. You know what I'm saying? Do you hold the door for people? You hold the door, or you think I'm okay to open the door for myself, or things like that. So
okay, well, I love that we're opening up this topic, and we would love to hear other young women kind of comment on what you've heard today, and like maybe what your experience has been, whatever you'd like to share,
and how you protect your peace, and energy,
because you have to, and then you have to. I think it's about you have to be able to hear that and not take it in like that is your truth, right? So I hear this, and also like we have different ways of handling how we would tell the person, right? What you think about what they just said. And because you said sometimes they don't even realize that it's hurtful.
Right.
I think part of the conversation I'd love to see us continue at some point is ways in which we can offer that feedback to people in a constructive way, or in a way that you would do it naturally. And let's just kind of talk through that, you know.
I can't do both, naturally or constructive. Mine's not going to be both.
So we start with how it come out naturally, and then we can talk about like other things that you can do, and to educate the person. I think it's if we approach it that way.
But that's across the board, though. That approach that you're taking can go across multiple people. Yeah, with lots of different issues, right? So oh my gosh, well this was great to have our first guest. I'm so glad you came on and was so willing to share, and hopefully you tune in and kind of hear more and hopefully come back another time sometime.
Definitely our number one fan.
I love to hear it.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us today, right?
Of course.
And we will do it again. All right, that's my girl. All right.
So thank you for tuning in to Hype Dreams, where we have planted the seed and now help us to
grow it. All right. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
I love it. Thank you for doing that.
Of course.
Oh my